Hello everyone. Today, I would like to talk about synthetic biology. Deep science is a scientific technology based on advanced scientific knowledge and research and development, and when successfully commercialized, it serves as a game changer that can transform the market landscape. One prominent success story in the field of entrepreneurship during the COVID-19 era is the rapid rise of the U.S. biotechnology company Moderna. Founded in 2010, Moderna is a synthetic biology technology company that emerged from research collaboration between Harvard University and MIT. They established a vaccine manufacturing platform based on messenger RNA, mRNA, technology, which led to astronomical profits. They were able to shorten the vaccine development timeline from 5 to 10 years to just 10 months. The Ministry of Science and ICT in South Korea recently announced measures to promote deep science entrepreneurship. These initiatives aim to foster new industries and markets with the potential to create significant economic impact. They plan to invest 700 billion Korean won by 2027 to double the number of R&D startups in emerging fields with high growth potential, such as quantum technology, nuclear fusion, and synthetic biology, to 5,500 companies. In my YouTube channel, UnicornDNA, I briefly introduced quantum physics and quantum computers in the previous videos. Now, let's take a closer look at synthetic biology, as mentioned earlier. Coincidentally, in late March of this year, the Korea Institute of Science and Technology Evaluation and Planning, KISTEP, and the Ministry of Science and ICT published an e-book titled, The Future of Synthetic Biology. This e-book delves into the advancements and future prospects of synthetic biology. Peppers have a Latin scientific name called capsicum. Although they belong to the same species, peppers exhibit a wide range of colors and shapes due to slight variations in their genetic makeup. This variation in genetic arrangement is a common feature among all organisms. From bacteria to yeast, fungi, fish, amphibians, birds, reptiles, and mammals, each species possesses diverse genes and traits acquired through adaptation to environmental changes. Exactly. Just like in the case of cars where the operating principles are the same but the choice of components can result in different vehicles, the same concept applies to living organisms. Even identical twins, who share the same genetic material, can have slight differences, typically around 1 to 2%, which can make them easily recognizable by close family members or friends. They often exhibit variations in personality traits, talents, or even physical characteristics. In the case of humans, the combination of 3 billion pairs of DNA sequences that make up our genetic code results in each individual having unique appearances and physiological traits. Synthetic biology can be defined as the field of study focused on engineering and synthesizing biological systems by utilizing existing organisms or designing and creating novel biological systems that do not exist in nature. This definition aligns with the description provided by the Ministry of Science and ICT during their technology impact assessment conducted last year. The dictionary definition also supports a similar understanding. In synthetic biology, researchers aim to modify the characteristics of existing enzymes, genetic circuits, cells, and biological systems, or design and fabricate new characteristics that do not naturally occur. This field involves studying methods to alter and create biological systems to achieve specific functions or desired outcomes. By combining principles from biology, engineering, and other related disciplines, synthetic biology seeks to understand the fundamental principles of life and utilize them to develop new applications, such as biotechnology, medicine, energy production, and environmental remediation. There is often a misconception about creating entirely new biological systems in synthetic biology. It is not about creating islands filled with dinosaurs like in the movie Jurassic Park or making Frankenstein-like creatures. Instead, it involves introducing engineering concepts into the research and development process of genetic engineering to increase automation and speed. That's why the term, synthetic biology, is evolving towards engineering biology. It emphasizes the engineering aspect of the field, where biological systems are designed and manipulated using engineering principles to achieve specific goals. Synthetic biology considers the DNA of living organisms as individual building blocks and applies the concepts of coding from IT. Leveraging existing knowledge in genetic engineering and utilizing AI, it aims to quickly optimize gene combinations, design, experiment, and validate processes. Through automation, it enables a significantly higher number of experiments and validations in a much shorter time frame. Synthetic biology finds applications in various fields such as medicine, energy, chemistry, agriculture, and the environment. Its goal is to enhance the quality of life and improve the sustainability of our planet. By harnessing the potential of synthetic biology, advancements are being made to elevate the standards of living and promote global sustainability. In a nutshell, synthetic biology is not something that emerged out of nowhere, but rather a technology that accelerates the fields of traditional biology and genetic engineering. It incorporates the principles of design, build, test, and learn, DBTL, which have been iteratively applied in AI and robotics. However, in the context of synthetic biology, these processes have been expedited from years or months to days. The systems enabling such accelerated processes are referred to as biofoundries. Biofoundry is an advanced biotechnology that combines robotics, artificial intelligence, and nanotechnology. While previous bioresearch focused on understanding living organisms, with the completion of the human genome map over 20 years ago, we are now entering a new dimension where synthetic biology plays a central role. The term genome refers to the combination of gene, which is the unit of heredity, and chromosome, the structure that carries genetic information. In 2003, the sequencing of the 3 billion base pairs of the genome was accomplished. Synthetic biology is advancing in conjunction with both traditional genetic engineering and cutting-edge biofoundry technologies. The encounter between genetic engineering and biofoundry can be seen as accelerating the commercialization of synthetic biology. In 2010, the J. Craig Venter Institute in the United States achieved a significant milestone by creating the world's first synthetic organism, JCV-SYN 1.0. Subsequently, among the 76 genes responsible for cell cluster formation through replication, they discovered 7 genes that play a role in uniform cell division. Utilizing these findings, they finally completed a new synthetic cell, JCV-SYN 3A, in 2021, capable of self-sustaining biological activity. There is also a project called Yeast 2.0. The yeast, which is used in bread and alcohol production, serves as the starting point for a project aimed at securing the ability to recreate human cells someday. Yeast has been widely used in the field of biotechnology for enhancing or eliminating specific functions through research. Therefore, if yeast production becomes more economical, it could lead to the development of various products such as new drugs and biofuels. Unlike bacteria, which are prokaryotic organisms, yeast is a eukaryotic organism. Eukaryotes have cell organelles, such as a nucleus, enclosed within membranes, whereas prokaryotes lack a nucleus and other membrane structures within the cell. Yeast has 16 individual chromosomes, and in the Yeast 2.0 project, 16 teams from around the world participate, with each team responsible for synthesizing at least one chromosome. The goal is to combine the individually synthesized chromosomes to ultimately create the yeast. By the end of last year, 6 teams had successfully synthesized their respective chromosomes, and promising results are expected to emerge soon. Can synthetic biology create dinosaurs? The answer from biologists is yes, but also no. The yes is based on the fact that if we can retrieve and read the DNA of dinosaurs and meet certain conditions, it is not impossible to write their DNA. However, the reason for saying no is that while it may be possible in the future, it is as distant a possibility as humans colonizing Mars. After the draft of the human genome was completed, it took over 20 years to understand just one cell. In the case of the recently announced synthetic cell, JCV-SYN 3A, in 2021, out of the 7 additional genes identified, only 2 were known to be involved in cell division at that time, while the functions of the other 5 remained unknown. This highlights the fact that life still holds numerous secrets yet to be uncovered. Synthetic biology is still in its infancy. The United States is undoubtedly leading the way, while the European Union, Japan, South Korea, and China are competing in this field. In terms of specific subfields such as genetic engineering, South Korea ranks among the top, but overall, it is at around 75% compared to the United States. In terms of technological gap, it would be approximately 3 years. Bioindustry is broadly categorized into 3 sectors: red, green, and white biotechnology. Red biotechnology refers to the application of biotechnology in the field of medicine and pharmacy. It encompasses the development of new drugs, diagnostic tools, stem cells, and other related areas focused on disease prevention, diagnosis, and treatment. Green biotechnology, represented by the color of leaves in plants, involves biotechnology applications in agriculture and environmental remediation. It focuses on the practical implementation of biotechnology in agriculture, including the development of products using agricultural organisms, as well as technologies for environmental purification. It also encompasses the use of biomass and renewable energy sources. White biotechnology is a technology that utilizes renewable biological resources, such as corn and soybeans, or utilizes microorganisms and enzymes, to replace conventional chemical and energy industries. It involves the production of bio-based chemicals and fuels with significant carbon reduction effects. Examples include bioplastics, bioethanol, and the concept of a biorefinery, which utilizes non-uniform biomass such as wood or waste materials to produce alcohol-based fuels such as ethanol and butanol. White biotechnology is also known as biochemical or industrial biotechnology, and it aims to reduce dependence on petroleum and minimize environmental pollution by utilizing biomass as a raw material, contributing to sustainable industrial growth. The global synthetic biology market is projected to grow by 19.7% this year, reaching a size of $10.59 billion. Gene editing tools and quantum computing are driving the growth of the synthetic biology market. Private investment surpasses public investment, with the public sector accounting for only 20% of global participation. The majority of investments are being made in the United States and the European Union. The increasing market size and private investment in synthetic biology are driven by their significant ripple effects. The integration of synthetic biology with big data, artificial intelligence, and automation robotics has accelerated the development speed and scale of traditional bioprocesses. The establishment of biofoundries has enabled rapid and cost-effective bioresearch, making it applicable to various industries such as pharmaceuticals, energy, chemicals, and agriculture. According to McKinsey & Company, synthetic biology has over 400 potential applications, closely intertwined with our daily lives in areas such as healthcare, agriculture and food, consumer goods and services, and materials and energy production. Indeed, synthetic biology has already made its way into our daily lives. The artificial spider silk fiber developed by the U.S. startup, Bolt Threads, is created by inserting spider silk genes into yeast cells. The fiber, called Serona, is derived from corn and finds wide applications ranging from thermal insulation to flexible sportswear. Another example is the U.S. eco-friendly alternative leather startup called MycoWorks, which uses patented technology to process mushroom mycelium into leather-like material, producing vegan luxury bags. Furthermore, Switzerland's Happy Genie utilizes apple peel and juice byproducts to create apple vegan leather, while the French startup, Veganskin, offers leather made from mangoes and bananas. These innovative applications showcase the diverse uses of synthetic biology in creating sustainable and animal-friendly materials. Certainly. Here are some successful examples of synthetic biology. Ginkgo Bioworks, based in the United States, has established itself in precision chemistry and pharmaceuticals using a business model focused on microbial design and automation. They have supported the manufacturing of Moderna's mRNA vaccines and went public on Nasdaq in 2021 with a market value of $20 billion. Synlogic, also based in the United States, is creating microbes that can detect diseases and secrete drugs. They are currently conducting clinical trials for the treatment of genetic disorders and solid tumors. Oxitec, a company from the United Kingdom, has developed male mosquitoes with controlled reproductive abilities. Through genetic drives, they have demonstrated the ability to eliminate mosquitoes that transmit diseases such as Zika virus and malaria, as well as control pests and invasive species. Ameris, recognized as one of the pioneering companies in synthetic biology in the United States, has developed alternative meats and artificial silk, among other innovations. They contribute to the innovation of biological resources through genome engineering. Pivot Bio, based in the United States, has developed nitrogen-fixing microbes to prevent soil acidification and enhance soil fertility without the need for traditional fertilizers. They are pursuing agricultural innovations to make soil more fertile using microbial solutions. Lanza Tech, also based in the United States, has developed microbes that utilize greenhouse gases and waste resources to produce biofuels and bioplastics. Their technology demonstrates the potential to address environmental challenges by converting waste into valuable products. Zymergen, another company from the United States, has developed microbes capable of producing high-performance optical films, adhesives, coatings, and more. They have showcased the biological production potential in the field of flexible display materials. Last year in September, President Biden of the United States signed an executive order to promote biotechnology and biomanufacturing. The aim is to restrain China and secure leadership in the field of bio, following the semiconductor, electric vehicle, and battery industries. China, following the United States, is forming the second-largest biomarket. They have surpassed the United States in next-generation biotechnologies such as anti-cancer immunotherapy and gene editing. However, the United States remains the current dominant powerhouse in synthetic biology. As mentioned earlier, the Craig Venter Institute in the United States achieved the world's first synthetic cell synthesis and is significantly ahead in DNA decoding, editing technology, and synthetic genomics. It's true that the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, DARPA, a U.S. defense research agency, has been pursuing the establishment of a synthetic biology manufacturing research institute called BioMade since October 2020. They plan to invest $270 million over a period of 7 years. In the private sector, companies like Ginkgo Bioworks and Zymergen have already been listed on NASDAQ, demonstrating their presence and success in the field. It's true that the United Kingdom has become the first country to establish a national synthetic biology roadmap. In order to create an ecosystem that integrates research, education, and industry, the UK government has been actively involved in building synthetic biology centres and numerous biofoundries since 2012, over a period of 7 years. Yes, Japan is indeed pursuing the Smart Cell project. They have been advancing the NEDO Smart Cell project, which integrates AI technology into biological information to manipulate and utilize the functions of living organisms. Additionally, Japan has established the Biostrategy 2019 to prepare for the post-Fourth Industrial Revolution era and harness the potential of the bio industry. Indeed, China, despite being a latecomer, has been rapidly catching up with substantial investments following the footsteps of the United States and the United Kingdom. They have identified synthetic biology as a key area in national priority scientific and technological fields. In 2020 alone, China invested 380 million yuan, approximately 72 billion Korean won, specifically in the field of synthetic biology. They have allocated a significant amount of their resources to establish large-scale biofoundries in strategic regions. South Korea is increasing investments in synthetic biology R&D across various ministries, but collaboration and investments in essential infrastructure are still lacking. University-centered basic research accounts for over 70%, and facilities such as biofoundries, process development support, and testing facilities necessary for the design and synthesis of high-speed DNA, crucial for the advancement of synthetic biology, are currently operated on a small scale by individual institutions or companies. Urgent large-scale investments in biofoundries are needed. In December of last year, the Ministry of Science and ICT announced the National Synthetic Biology Initiative to strengthen the country's biomanufacturing innovation capabilities and has begun taking substantial steps forward. The rapid scaling, mass production, and cost reduction brought about by synthetic biology are expected to create new jobs and foster numerous innovative technology startups in various fields such as healthcare, agriculture, food, materials, and energy production. However, if industrialization progresses faster than anticipated, there may also be backlash from existing industries. For example, if cultured meat markets rapidly gain traction, it could potentially impact related sectors in traditional animal farming, such as feed production, farms, and slaughterhouses, leading to their decline. Among the meats created by scientists, there are plant-based meat and cultured meat. While they both claim to have achieved the taste of meat through synthetic biology, their composition is completely different. Plant-based meat utilizes sources such as wheat, soy, and mushrooms to obtain plant-based proteins and create a texture similar to meat. The reason plant-based meat now closely resembles meat in terms of perception is due to the inclusion of heme, which is produced through synthetic biology. It's important to note that heme is not derived from ham or any pork-based food product. Heme, a primary component of hemoglobin found in blood, is obtained from the roots of soybeans. It contains iron, allowing for the replication of the distinctive taste and aroma of meat. You're correct that Beyond Meat is a prominent brand in the plant-based meat industry. They utilize protein from yellow peas. To achieve a meat-like appearance, they use beet juice to create a reddish, blood color, and coconut oil is used to mimic the juiciness of meat. Impossible Foods is known for their plant-based burgers. Their products are served in over 7,000 restaurants across the United States, and Burger King even offers an Impossible sausage product. Cultivated meat, also known as lab-grown or cultured meat, is a more advanced product of synthetic biology. In the case of cultivated meat, muscle or embryonic stem cells from animals are cultured and then shaped into meat-like structures using 3D printing techniques. The texture of the meat is programmed to mimic the natural formation of meat. Since cultivated meat is derived from animal cells, the end product is identical to meat obtained from animals. There is no need to mimic the use of heme or beet juice as in the case of plant-based meat alternatives. That's correct. Future Meat Technologies, based in Israel, is indeed a leading company in the field of cultivated meat. They have announced the establishment of the world's first industrial-scale cultivated meat production facility, capable of producing 500 kilograms of cultivated meat per day, which is equivalent to around 5,000 hamburgers. The production process of cultivated meat significantly reduces greenhouse gas emissions by 80% compared to traditional livestock farming and reduces freshwater usage by 96%. This makes it a promising solution to address food shortages caused by climate change. Singapore, a country that imports 90% of its food, became the first to commercially sell cultivated meat in 2020. The expansion of cultivated meat does face obstacles. The process of cell cultivation involves the use of genetic engineering techniques, which has led to cultivated meat being considered genetically modified organisms, GMOs, in Europe. Additionally, the current cost of cell cultivation is high, making cultivated meat prices double that of conventional meat. These factors pose hurdles, including consumer resistance and backlash from the livestock industry, which cannot be ignored. Indeed, the cultivated meat industry is increasingly gaining attention as a future industry. Tyson Foods, the largest U.S. meat processing multinational company, has made investments in Future Meat Technologies, an Israeli cultivated meat company. Furthermore, in December of last year, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, FDA, granted approval to Upside Foods, a startup company, for their cultivated chicken meat after more than a year of review. South Korea has achieved positive results in the field of synthetic biology, and even more development and innovation are expected in the future. Foundational technologies related to gene editing have been extensively accumulated through continuous research and development, and microbial improvement and large-scale production technologies are at a similar level to advanced countries. CJ Chiljedang, for instance, possesses world-class fermentation and refining technologies, making it the global leader in the production of 5 major feed ingredients, such as amino acids. Samsung Biologics, on the other hand, is the largest biopharmaceutical manufacturing company in the world, showcasing outstanding production capabilities. Furthermore, South Korea excels in IT technology and manufacturing capabilities, which can also be utilized in the field of synthetic biology. It is indeed emphasized that in order to be competitive in the field of synthetic biology, we need to establish public bioprocessing facilities. Due to the high costs involved, research institutes, universities, and startups alone cannot undertake such initiatives. It is argued that national-level support is necessary. Yes, it is true that CJ Chiljedang has established a bioprocessing facility, called CJ Blossom Park, in Suwon, Gwangyo. It is the only self-owned bioprocessing facility among domestic biotechnology companies in South Korea. However, there may be a gap in terms of scale compared to global standards. Microbiome is indeed an important field in synthetic biology. It refers to the ecosystem of microorganisms, microbes, that live within our bodies. Also known as the second genome, the microbiome includes various microorganisms such as bacteria, viruses, and fungi. It is estimated that an adult weighing 70 kilograms carries around 38 trillion microorganisms, totaling 1 to 3 kilograms in weight. The microbiome exists in humans from birth and undergoes diverse changes throughout life, influencing human health and disease. A healthy gut microbiome plays a crucial role in aiding digestion and preventing disease-causing bacteria from attaching to the intestinal wall. Additionally, it helps lower cholesterol levels that can contribute to heart disease and aids in blood sugar regulation and the production of neurotransmitters in the brain. It plays an important role in digestion, immune function, and brain health, among others. However, when the balance of the microbiome is disrupted, it can increase the risk of developing chronic conditions such as metabolic syndrome, obesity, and high blood sugar. Imbalances in the microbiome can also accelerate aging processes. It is true that scientists have been developing therapeutic approaches utilizing these microorganisms. In November of last year, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, FDA, officially approved the first microbiome-based therapy. The therapy is called Reb-Yoda, developed by Ferring Pharmaceuticals, a Swiss pharmaceutical company. It is designed for adults aged 18 and older to prevent recurrent Clostridioides difficile infection following antibiotic treatment. Clostridioides difficile infection causes symptoms such as diarrhea, fever, abdominal pain, and severe inflammation of the colon, and it leads to an estimated 15,000 to 30,000 deaths in the United States annually. The CAR-T therapy is similar to the gene editing technology I explained earlier. It is a treatment method that uses T cells, which are a type of immune cell, to attack cancer cells. First, a gene is added to T cells obtained from the patient's blood, which expresses a specific receptor that binds to a protein on the cancer cells. This specific receptor is called a chimeric antigen receptor, or CAR. The T cells that express the chimeric antigen receptor are then expanded in large quantities and administered to the patient. CAR-T therapy is gaining attention as a new cancer treatment because it effectively eliminates cancer cells while minimizing damage to normal cells. It is called the assassin of cancer, as it seeks out cancer cells and attacks them like guided missiles. Lastly, there are organisms that can survive in extreme environments where life seems impossible on Earth. For example, there is a prokaryotic organism called Deinococcus radiodurans, which can withstand nuclear accidents and survive in highly radioactive environments for over a year. It has been used as a model bacterium in the research and development of substances that can be utilized in the pharmaceutical industry for purposes such as cancer treatment and anti-aging. Indeed, the use of synthetic organisms for bioremediation, the process of using living organisms to clean up environmental pollutants, is being researched. However, there are concerns that newly created organisms, unlike those naturally occurring on Earth, could have detrimental effects on ecosystems, agriculture, and human health if they are released into the environment without proper precautions. We will conclude today's video here. Thank you so much for watching up until now.